Okay, you are the host now. You can switch the monitor. Good morning. Richard, let's switch the monitor. You are the host now, Richard. First page. This is the second page. And the music. You have to open everyone. Only 4 people in. You need to open everyone. I think Janetta, you can start. Richard, unmute Janetta.
All right, good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome to our Chuncheon, New Jersey prayer vigil. We will begin by greeting our heavenly parents and true parents. Okay. Chunjin, Chuncheonke, Kyombe. Bado. All right, we will now recite the family pledge, first in Korean.
Change the monitor, Richard.
Okay, I realize there was no picture of true parents, so we might have to redo our Kyombe. Richard, do you think you can put true parents' picture up again, please? Okay, perfect. Okay, Chanjin, Champumuke, Kyombe. Bado. All right, now the Korean pledge.
가정맹세사 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Number 4, our family, the owner of Chonoguk, pledged to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the heavenly parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Thank you. For opening prayer, can I please ask Dr. Tyler Hendricks to open us up in prayer, please? Can you please unmute? If you're able to. Are you able? Oh, there you go.
Okay. Our beloved Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven and earth and all humankind, we are so grateful to begin this morning with you, to unite together as brothers and sisters, as one family under God, true brothers, sons and daughters attending True Parents with all of our hearts, striving to bring together our families, our clans, our communities, all churches, all faith traditions into one family under God, guided by the light of your word and of your love. And we gather for this morning devotion with gratitude that we have this great opportunity to share our lives with each other, even for a short time each morning. So I offer this prayer, inviting you to join us, inviting true parents, true mother to join us, good ancestors, heaven and earth to be one. In the name of Tyler and Hayoung Hendricks, the Central family and all of the Central families together. Aju.
There you go. Thank you so much, Dr. Tyler Hendricks, for that beautiful prayer. We will now begin into our light morning stretches. Let's begin by shaking out our body, waking up our body, waking up our muscles. Alrighty, and we'll go reach up to the sky. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move to the left side, right side. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And do for next. One side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shoulder rotation going forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Six rotations one way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're sitting or standing, you're just going to bring your knee up to the chest and try to do your ankle rotations at the same time if you can. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Try to do ankle rotations as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then we'll do this rotation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 10 seconds, you can stretch or massage any body part you'd like. Okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay. Everyone's wide awake and ready to go into our breakout rooms and share any gratitudes or appreciations for today. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. I had an amazing breakout room with Mr. Kemi Hirose and Mr. and Mrs. Lepelkin, but due to time, I'm only going to be able to ask one person to share. Can I please ask Mr. Kemi Hirose if she can share her gratitude and appreciation for today? Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas. And my gratitude is this online, this holy community and centering on True Mother, and also leadership like Pastor Naokimi and Pastor Takino. And yesterday we had a family group gathering, about 10 people went Mr. and Mrs. Corner's house, and yeah, we shared and we eat together, and we spoke many things, and yeah, it's my first time to speak with Pastor Naokimi in Japanese. I was a little bit tense, but we have very good time, and yeah, then we are able to hear Pastor Naokimi's vision towards family group, and I feel so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Hirose, for your sharing. We will now begin into True Mother's memoir, so please prepare your hearts and minds as we listen to Dr. Ward as he reads True Mother's words and shares his insights for today. Thank you.
Good morning to brothers and sisters, and many blessings to you on this eve of Christmas. So let us begin now by reading from the Mother of Peace today. At that time, a crisis arose in America. In 1972, Richard Nixon had been elected to a second term as president by an overwhelming majority. But 1 year later, popular sentiment had turned against him. The media and Mr. Nixon's political opponents were demanding that he resign from office over the Watergate affair. His supposed allies had no power to defend him. Even Christian leaders drew back and kept silent. It was my husband who spoke out. Our movement published America in Crisis, Answer to Watergate, Forgive, Love, Unite, in 21 leading newspapers. This was not about forgiving President Nixon alone, Father said, but about forgiving, loving, and uniting as a nation for the sake of the world. Nixon's commitment was to win the Vietnam War and halt communist aggression into Southeast Asia. In opposition, communist affiliates confused the American public, mounting demonstrations against Nixon on college campuses and even on the National Mall. Seeking to awaken reverence for God and ignite a fire among Americans thirsting for righteousness, our members began demonstrating for God and the dignity of the American presidency. We gained media attention, and the president himself took notice. Early in 1974, President Nixon sent us an invitation to meet him in the White House. Mr. Nixon was anxious, aware of the likelihood of impeachment. As members covered the White House in prayer, my husband counseled President Nixon to stand strong, confess any wrongdoing, and call for national prayer, unity, and renewal. So when we reflect this morning on these words, I think of True Father and the kind of person that True Father was. I remember one time being in Uruguay with True Father. There were several elderly gentlemen in Uruguay that True Father was very comfortable with. Dean Boyd knows them very well. And on that occasion, it was just maybe 5 or 6 of us there with True Father, including these gentlemen. And Father was about to give his speech. And before giving the speech, what Father said was, well, I'm going to give my speech now. Actually, I already gave this speech to the people that are listening before. They're not going to want to hear it again. But I have to give it. So that's why I have to do what I have to do. So my point is that Father knew what might happen because of things that he was required to do. He was not naive. He understood that sometimes animosity came, but there were things that he had to do. So when Father came to America for the first time, in 1965, I'm sure already then he mapped out his plan about what he was going to do in the United States in order to be able to move quickly to help America to fulfill its mission, really to stop the spread of communism, which was against all religion and obviously first and foremost against the Messiah. Father's strategy included an emphasis on membership growth, fundraising, public speaking in large venues, and pro-Americanism and anti-communism. And each of these things could cause concern and negativity. We were traveling around the country in vans, witnessing on university campuses. People attended 2- and 3-day workshops, and they were in the vans with us, and they were off to the next place. We were in a very, very big rush to do something in those critical years, as I said, 72, 73, 74. We were fundraising from one place to another in parking lots, in neighborhoods, sometimes without permission. All of these things, they provoked a kind of negativity. And True Father was public speaking in increasingly large venues. And it reminded people of individuals like Billy Graham and Oral Roberts. This was just after the Civil Rights era. And in the midst of the Civil Rights era, there were people that put their lives on the line every single day. And then there were these preachers, not saying that they were against those things, but they were just telling people about accepting Jesus as your personal savior. They were doing nothing about that real world situation. And suddenly Reverend Moon comes along and he seems to be doing exactly the same thing. And then a message of pro-Americanism and anti-communism by an Asian. There had been a whole series of Asians who had talked about being being pro-American, but who were really very, very authoritarian, almost dictators. People like Ferdinand Marcos in the Philippines, Pak Chung-hee in Korea, Chiang Kai-shek in Taiwan, and Nguyen Cao Qui in Vietnam. And so Father just seemed to be like another one of these people talking about America. I love America, I love America. And at the same time, seeming in the eyes of the press to be very, very authoritarian. So all of these things, they provoked animosity. And surely Father knew that those things were going to come. But then what would be next? Well, what would be next would be incredible. And that was what we read about this morning. On the 30th of November, 1973, Father issued the Watergate statement in support of Richard M. Nixon. Richard Nixon was hated by Americans. He was, you hear about Donald Trump, but Richard Nixon was at least on that scale and probably even on a bigger scale. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with Richard Nixon. And yet there were demonstrations, and we were talking in favor of Nixon, and Father was meeting with Nixon. But other people were saying we have to impeach Nixon, we have to get rid of Nixon. So on the one hand, you have those who are opposed to Richard Nixon, and really on the other hand, what you have pretty much is us, not anyone else. On the national scale, Reverend Moon was the main public supporter in that time of Richard Nixon. And so really the left was so upset with our movement, so upset because of the fact that we seemed to be naive, foolish, and blind in our support of a very controversial figure at that time. Now, the positive is that some people got it. Some people saw the way that the left was manipulating. I found this last night in the Los Angeles Times, a letter that was written in the Los Angeles Times to Father. Dear Reverend Moon, what a happy coincidence. On the final day of my receiving the Los Angeles Times, which I canceled because of its constant magnifying hatreds and vilification of our president, there is your glorious call for forgive, love, unite. As a Christian Scientist, this, of course, has been my constant prayer. I have written each member of the Watergate Committee and my senators and congressmen saying, who among you is without sin? Let him cast the first stone. Our United States is a generous, good country, but forces of evil from within, etc., etc. And so basically, there were those who were touched, but Father was pretty much alone in terms of that. He said, I waited for an American minister to come forward, and when none did, then I realized I had to speak out and tell Americans, you have to forgive your president. This is a very, very important time. You have to move on. Nevertheless, that didn't happen. The overpowering force of the left and the voices of the media finally led Richard Nixon to resign from office on August 9th, 1974. 8 months later, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos all became communist countries. Within 4 years, communism had spread rapidly in numerous countries in Africa, and also it had begun to spread in Central America. Communism had become an incredible force based on the United States withdrawal from Vietnam. It was a signal. Go ahead, have a heyday, do what you wish to do. The Watergate statement put us in the eyes of the left as the enemy. On February 1st, 1974, that's what, 2 months and 2 days after the Watergate statement, for the first time, the Washington publication, the Washington Monthly, used the term Moonie to describe us. Moonie rhymes with loony, if you know about Looney Tunes. There was a direct purpose in choosing that term. They wanted to demean us, make us look foolish. And in the same month of February, the Washington Post made a point to mainstream the term Moonie as the way that our church would be known and referred to. Then there were the Fraser and the Dole hearings. And finally, there was Danbury. How did we get from there to Moscow? That's a long story. And if you who are interested in how we got beyond that bypass, you could read this book. It's an interesting book. By the way, True Father read this book. And it deals with the whole process whereby true parents were successful in doing what they did in the struggle against communism. Fast forward to 1991. In 1991, in August of that year, the International Federation for Peace was founded. That was really the basis for what would later become the Universal Peace Federation. And the keynote speaker at that event was General Alexander Haig. Alexander Haig had served as the former U.S. Secretary of State under Ronald Reagan. He had served as the Supreme Commander of NATO under President Jimmy Carter. And he had served as the Chief of Staff under President Nixon. I was asked to go out to the airport. That was the, I guess it was Incheon Airport at that time, to pick up Alexander Haig by Dr. Pak, and I was asked to escort him. And I spent 3 days with Alexander Haig. And during that time, I was wondering, what am I going to say to Alexander Haig? What do I possibly have to share with him? And anyways, he got in the car. I was sitting in the front seat. He was sitting in the back seat, and we were driving. And I'm trying to think, well, how was your flight? How exactly am I going to start things? And immediately what he said to me was, he said, there are very few people that I admire more than Reverend Sun Myung Moon. I can never forget what he did for the United States in the midst of the Watergate crisis. He was the one person that really understood that if America couldn't forgive its president, then this country was going to go through very difficult times, and it would have a negative impact upon the entire world. So people in high places were greatly influenced by the work that true parents did in that time. Remember Reverend Jerry Falwell, I had a chance to spend time with him as well. And he said, you know, I really admire Reverend Moon. I really admire, he wasn't a follower, but he said, I really admire Reverend Moon because he was the one person that really stood up against communism and took it on head on. Jesus shook up the church, the synagogue at that time. He shook up Judaism. And because of it, those who were shaken up by him said, we have to find a way to arrest him. We have to find a way to stop him. And the same for True Father. There was a desire to get him. They had to stop him. But that did not stop Father. Father's, one of his favorite expressions was, bet your neck. Put everything there. Risk everything in order to make a difference. The amazing thing is that within 5 years, Father went from Danbury to being hosted and welcomed by President Gorbachev and Mrs. Riza Gorbachev in Moscow. In a period of just 5 years, he was able to turn things around so quickly because he bet everything. And because he could bet everything, he could be able to move God's heart. And likewise, True Mother bet her neck going to North Korea. We've read in this book about what the memories that Mother had, going day after day as a little girl to see her mother and grandmother in prison, escaping and heading to the south, and once again being stopped by the North Koreans and being confined in a very simple place with almost nothing to eat. Moving with trepidation across the 38th parallel, being in Seoul at the time the North was attacking, and hearing her mother say to her grandmother, we have to get out of here because if they find out that we're North Koreans, they're going to kill all of us. We have to move, you know. And then in spite of all those kinds of things that were very much a part of True Mother, that's why they're in her book, they were a part of her. Still, she and True Father chose to bet their neck and go to North Korea and to really make a huge difference. So on these days when we commemorate the birth of Jesus, we know that Jesus bet his neck, but also we can be grateful because true parents have bet their neck in order to save the world. And we're carrying on that legacy today. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Ward, for those beautiful insights and words in the PowerPoint as well. We will now go into our breakout rooms and share any key words that we got from True Mother's book or any insights that we got from Dr. Ward today. See you guys in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. I had a very big breakout room. I had the Lepelkin couple, the Bibi couple, and Ms. Crescentia in my breakout room. So there's a lot of beautiful sharing in my group. But unfortunately, due to time, I can't have a representative sharing, but please feel free to put any insights or keywords into the chat so we can all read. I will now pass it to the Assistant Pastor Takino in the New Jersey's Chuncheon 1 prayer room.
Takino-san, you're muted.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. So today is a Christmas Eve, Sunday. We don't have a Christmas Eve service in person, but instead, the Pastor Naokimi send us the Christmas message right after the finish of this prayer visit. And please, please watch this Christmas service with the family or family group, extend it to your families. And I hope you can share the content of the Christmas service message today. And that is our main focus. The True Mother really want to have a big celebration. Especially we think about the life of the Jesus Christ. So, but this is our service today, and we like to offer to True Mother, the family group, with the family together to talk about the life of the Jesus Christ and connecting to the true parents. So, and after that, if you can take one picture or a couple of pictures, please send me. Then we're going to create a report with your photos. Then we like to share to the Reverend Dunkley. And yeah, so okay. Today, the Hector and Elizabeth say they continue to stay here, the New Jersey the training center, and that they also came to the Chonshimon prayer room. So I like to invite Elizabeth today to the offering prayer.
Morning, everyone. Please join me in prayer. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents and True Parents, for this really beautiful, wonderful day, Christmas Eve. We really pray to prepare our hearts for this beautiful message that we will hear online later. We're so grateful for this really beautiful, holy community that we have in New Jersey and really throughout the whole world, God. We're so grateful for all the brothers and sisters that we can really call family in this unificative movement, and we're so grateful that we can really find so much support and love through each and every person, and how much wisdom and truth we can also gain from this morning devotion and all of the really wise, meaningful words and lessons that we can understand, and really taking to heart this beautiful phrase of forgive, love, and unite. Thank you so much, God, for really inspiring us this morning, and that we can really apply the different inspirations that we gain throughout the day and throughout our lives, and that we're so lucky to really have been alive during the time of True Parents, and still being alive with your mother, and that we can really live out their legacy of all their heart, all their truth that they were able to bring to us, God. Thank you so much that we could gather on this precious day, Christmas Eve, and we pray that people can really spend time with their families and loved ones, whether they are close or far away, and pray that we can really feel connected together as a community, and we're so grateful, God. We really pray that we can have a wonderful day and make good, meaningful, impactful things with each and every one of us, and really be able to touch the lives of the people around us, God.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We really pray that we can offer up this day and offer this experience to you, and that we can really invite you, God, throughout our experience today.
Thanks.
We pray and report all these things as the branch of Sagatir, bless your family. Achu.
Richard, can you let everyone unmute, please?
Sure.
Hey, Tony.
To parents, thank you very much. We are very grateful. We are very happy to do your
Your
love.
guidance for this
The
wonderful
most
once again.
The Son of Jesus Christ,
now and then
Victorious
to
sons
direct
and
to
daughters
some
of
the all humanity,
Father, this guide
we ask you to
Celebrate
nobody truly understand
and do your
the
best.
heart of the Jesus. How
the
much he was
Father
alone to give us
we ought to come back
the
to
family
you, Father, in today's our present day.
understand who is the
The
who was the
benefit
Jesus.
of the praise of the
Jesus totally dedicated his life, never betrayed. He trusted
Merry Christmas.
Father, to give us
dedicated his life to God.
give us your we want
He
to bring it to you.
God's Father.
Father,
He testified
thank you
who
for
is God.
thank you
What is the God to love?
Father,
Many people
values and backgrounds and
to impact
your creations and
person, Jesus Christ.
thank you once again.
Many people. That's why I believe we have like so many
Thank you,
human
Father.
human
Oh, give us a
people
So much for
really understand the heart of God.
please.
Can feel they can impact others
guide us,
in
Father,
this
and
world.
easily,
Create a
Father,
true
to be
family
your
and
Father, to be your
parents.
sons and daughters, Father, to be your sons and daughters. Thank you,
Pray
Father. Thank you, Father. Father, oh, Father,
eternal
Father,
peace
we
kingdom,
see that
peace
pray
world.
for the outcome.
Nobody
Just keep marching for us, and Father,
can. We pray
and present your suffering each and every day.
still protect each
Father, with
bless children
wisdom, he find a mountain.
to guide them.
We're sick, Father. He
All precious,
like
all
people.
and great children
Father, we know that
are
Father in the prison also
they are
situation that was get out jail. We don't want to kill customers.
connecting to
We
other
don't want to
people.
make our nation be a better foundation of your
More people
First step, Father, he
the
guns
blessing.
tell us everywhere. Of the
Saying
righteous seeking
not just a
mercy.
ceremony,
Our holy
bless is love. Blessing is God's parental heart. Holy parents, everyone, God point the special. Everyone is the children. God has a hope.
Guide us, Father. Guide us, Father.
From God.
Achoo, achoo. Thank you, everyone. Well, that concludes our Chuncheon One prayer visual for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and hopefully I get to see everyone tomorrow on Christmas. I hope everyone has an amazing holiday, amazing Christmas Eve, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Bye.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Dr. Ward.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ward.
Rich, you can allow everyone to unmute to say goodbye.
Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Ward. Okay, everybody.
Everyone.
Brothers, sisters,
Thank you for your passion, Dr. Ward. I will get your book.
Dr. Ward.
Bye-bye.
President now, Kitty.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Bismarck.
Oh,
Yes. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you, Janet. Thank you very much. Great, great.
The Zoom in 5, 4, 3, 2.
안녕하세요.
Great
New Year. 안녕하세요.
Anne Marie, good to see you.
Hey, Chris. Bye.
안녕하세요.
가세요.
God bless everyone.
Hello.
Nice to be with everyone.
Hello. Hi. Thank you. Have a happy day.
Have a nice day. God bless everyone. Ariran kogero no maganda. Say hanu say dogi
At our neck, we will cross over by bedding our neck.
Yeah, we will cross the river and we will be there with a victory.